big day. Like, one of the biggest points of making the bunker was to have shower access to be able to clean up on my own off-grid property without having to worry about going to a fitness center, going into town. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my cabin up north. Today we are continuing to work on the bunkhouse to make it as comfortable as possible for guests and family that will come and visit me up here at the tiny cabin. Today specifically, we're working on the bathroom area. Although we are off-grid, so we don't have electric or running water, today we're going to be working on a way so that I can at least come in and clean up and rinse off the day's sweat and grime and dirt in a comfortable tiny cabin environment. So that's what's on the menu today, so let's get to work. Well, as you can see, it's a little bit full in here, which between that and it being a little bit dark, it's kind of hard to film. So I think what I'm going to do is tell you what I'm going to be working on and then catch you up in a little bit when there's some progress to show. I'm going to walk back here to the bathroom area. And in this space right here, you may have known from before, is where the shower stall is going to be. So what I'm going to be working on now is, so far I've installed the bathroom fan and the wiring for the fan, the light, for the fan and the light. But what I need to do now in order to progress with the project, I need to finish up this outlet here and then insulate on this side of the wall and then install my green sheetrock, and then I can put in my shower pan and my shower surround. So that's what we're going to be working on now. We're going to be tidying up some of this wiring that we completed the other day, and once that's done, we're going to move into this area right here. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to go to town. Looks like I need some supplies. I need an extra sheet of green for this part of the shower and the roof over the shower. And then we'll need to insulate the roof. And then over here what we have going is the fan is going to get routed out through the wall. And then in this area, this is where the water storage is going to be, and the on-demand water heater and the batteries. Since everything in the bunkhouse is 120, it gave me more options to use for lighting. And for instance, the bulb that I'm using in this fan light is an LED. So it has the 60 watt equivalent, but it only takes 9 watts. The moment of truth. All right. The circuit has power. Oh. Okay, well, we know the light works. But we have no fan. So I found the problem. My hot inside the fan box, I had 2 stranded wires that I had wire netted to a solid core wire, and one of the stranded just didn't have a good purchase and it had slipped out. So hopefully this should work. Fan is working. How much air are we? A little bit. I mean, not a ton, but I wonder how many watts that's taking. I have the wrong power bank in here though. All right, and now with the light. Perfect. Now just the light. Nice. All right. We are set. Well, let's see what we got going. Seems a little bit bright, but I don't know what else to do. It's a pretty small area. I could maybe go with a smaller light, but it's definitely bright in here. On the menu tonight is chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Sounds pretty good. So I had one of those rotisserie chickens that were on sale for like $8.50. So I ate what I could for lunch off of that. And then I picked all the meat off the bones, off the carcass, put it in the refrigerator, and now I'm just cutting up some potatoes. And we're gonna make mashed potatoes and some gravy and put those chunks of chicken in the gravy and then smother the mashed potatoes. So that's what's on the menu tonight. Probably will have enough potatoes to feed an army, but I do like to have leftovers so I don't have to cook for the next lunch. I'd say the taters are done. This was boiling, so I'd say that's done. What I do need is some cranberries. That would be perfect. Let's eat. Yesterday we went into town and we picked up some supplies. And in these bags, I've got equipment for doing drywall, and we also picked up some paint for the interior of the shower surround area. But I gotta say, after this last equipment run, the budget's getting a little tight for the bunkhouse build. So the next couple videos, so we might go back to projects on the weekend homestead cabin. Today we are gonna start with 92% on the small Blue Eddy. And I'm going to be using the lights in the bathroom today to help me see what I'm doing. So we'll see how much power it takes to run the lights in here for a day. So just to catch everybody up, here's where we're at in the shower area. We've got the drywall all in and the ceiling fan in, although I need to run the exhaust out the edge of the wall. We've got the lights wired. So I want to do this in steps. So I want to do the drywall corners and the screws. And then I want to prime this, and then I want to paint it, and then we will move on to installing the shower pan. The reason I wanted to do kind of the finishing work first, I realize the shower surround is probably going to come up to about here, so I won't have to do a lot of taping and mudding, but I didn't want to be standing in the new surround with my dirty shoes and scratching it and marring the finish, getting paint spatters on it. So it just seemed to make more sense to kind of finish this workspace first and then move on to the actual install. Now hopefully the install goes fine and we don't need to move it over a little bit, but I should be good with where the hole needs to go. I shouldn't be hitting a stud. So enough talking, let's get to work. I know the camera's bouncing, but it's literally resting on my shoulder, so I don't have a lot of control. That's a way to strip out a screw, but we got her. Good morning, everybody. We're back in the bunkhouse this morning, and I really hope that by the end of today, what is behind me will look completely different. This could be a big day. Like, one of the biggest points of making the bunker was to have shower access to be able to clean up on my own off-grid property. This is going to be a very good day. Well, it certainly did not get overcooked. That looks like it's about rare, and I'll take a rare cooked steak any day of the week. So let's eat. Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for life on this beautiful earth. I thank you for the productivity in the bunkhouse today. And I thank you for the companion in my river dog. In Jesus' name, amen. It's a beautiful night out, so I figured I'd burn up some of the cardboard from the bunkhouse build. Stuff always stacks up so quickly. Acorns are falling from the trees. No bugs. It's really warm this week though. 80s, almost 90 yesterday. Probably one of the last nice bonfire nights of the year. October's right around the corner. Leaves are going to be changing and the air is going to be cool. Gotta enjoy it while you can. We got some thick stuff there. Well, the paint is dry, and it's time to do the scary part. Drill a hole in the floor. Oh boy. The interesting thing will be, what does this do to the insulation under there? Does it knock it down, or will it stay in place? That'll be the question. Well, lucky for me, this floor was exactly level when I put the shower pan in. So if the floor was not level, I would have had to do the mortar bed underneath my shower pan. But because my floor is level, I can put it right down on the subfloor. But one thing they do recommend is to put tar paper down before, and that is just to help with any moisture, I think, kind of as a moisture barrier. That's my understanding, at least. So, all right, let's staple her down. Almost put it in backwards. I believe we have a shower pan, ladies and gentlemen. Get that secured in there, and we should be good to go. I picked up this blue barrel for free from my local recycling center, and eventually I plan to have like a big IBC tote, but until I get one of those, this I think will suffice. Used to have RV antifreeze in it, so it's non-toxic, but it's not something I would want to use for drinking water. But for a shower, once this is all rinsed out, it should be just fine for holding rainwater for shower purposes or watering the garden. At least I know it wasn't like a corrosive or an acid or some sort of chemical that was gonna hurt me just for touching my skin. Well, that barrel turned out pretty good for just spray painting it. Took 1 can of spray paint to do it. And there's some streaks in it, but for the most part, the black is way better looking than the blue. And the second thought was, if I could ever get sunlight on that thing, that black would absorb heat and potentially heat the water. You know, you go to Mexico and everybody's got a black barrel sitting on top of their roof because it provides hot water just from solar, which I don't think that would happen here, especially in the trees, but you know, you never know. Get a little bit of sun, it would help a little bit. I'm painting the board. So these boards that I'm painting now are going to go on the wall on the opposite side of the shower and kind of in the water tank area. And I think that probably the water heater may attach to these. So I'm going to paint them up just so they, number one, reflect some light, and number two, kind of look a little clean and whatnot. Of course, it's that time of year when the minute you walk away, leaves fall on them or a bug lands on it, or it's gonna be so nice to have a shower just to rinse off. I'm really excited for this. All right, it's all roughed in. I think we can go ahead and take it apart and start gluing panels. You know what I don't have? I don't have caulk. Dang it. Well, I got tired of working on that bathroom, so I decided on a beautiful fall day, it was perfect time to go for a run. The leaves aren't changing yet, but it's still a beautiful sunny day. So come on out into the woods, and we'll see what we can see on the trail. Well, should we play a little game today? I think I'm going on probably about a 5-mile run today. Let's count lakes. Let's see how many lakes I run by on a 5-6 mile run. Yeah, let's do that. All right, lake number 1. Jumped a grouse on the trail, and it reminded me that today is the opener for the Minnesota small games hunting season. So grouse, rabbits, squirrels, things like that. The season opens today, which reminds me of a video series I would kind of like to do, maybe this fall, is a kind of like a 5-day survival. You eat nothing except for what you can catch, or and if you don't get stuff, you don't eat for 5 days. It's an idea anyway, something different. Lake number 2. I think I forgot one in the way somewhere. This one's small, it goes out that way quite a ways, but this is just the back bay. But I almost forgot to count it. Lake number 2, and I'm about 2-3 miles in. All right, lake number 3. Nice little campsite here. Lake number 3. It's the nice thing about these national forests. They have so many nice little campsites. Nice little fire pit. But you gotta be willing to walk into them, that's the catch. Oh, thank God that's almost over. I got like a mile to the house. These hot days I use salt and electrolytes to keep my salt levels normal, and I tried a new kind today and it's so salty I couldn't even drink it. But I've always been a very salty sweater. I'm not like a super heavy sweater, but it's always been very salty. So usually after a run, my face will be caked with like literal white salt. So it's always a struggle for me to maintain my electrolyte and my salt balances when I sweat so much salt out. That was always my Achilles heel when I was running 100-mile races. I'd get into that 40-mile area, 40 to 60, and I would just usually run it through the heat of the day, and I would just be vomiting, couldn't keep anything in my stomach, couldn't even drink, and I'm just more and more convinced it's all related to salt levels and processing of water and whatnot. So anyway, whatever. We got a mile left, let's knock it out. So disregarding the counting lakes, I ended up kind of forgetting about it, so I missed a bunch, but I think I counted 3, and there should have been like 5 or 6. Anyway, thanks for coming along on the run. It made it a little less lonely having you with to talk to. But we got work to do, so let's get going back to the house. Oh boy. I'm so glad that is over. Waiting for the mid-afternoon, 85 degrees probably wasn't the wisest choice. It was a little warm. Time for some iced tea. This isn't a recipe, I just kind of threw some extra stuff together to get rid of it. Onion, pepper, sausage, and some seasonings. We're sitting on the porch and I keep hearing this squeaking noise, and it makes me believe that maybe our bat friends are back. Yep. That does not look like mouse pooey. Let's see if we can get a light in there and see. Oh, there's one, maybe two. A bunch of poop up in there. That's a popular hangout. Oh, there might be one in there, in that corner. Oh, did you hear that? So we got... Oh, and River's chasing chipmunks. So we got one, two for, I would say three. We got at least, I think there's one up in there. Yeah, I think there's one in there. Two for sure, maybe three. Which is weird because they have not been here all summer. Now last year when they were roosting in there, I had about 50-50 comments. 50% of the people said leave them be, they're good for eating the bugs. And the other 50% said get rid of them, they're going to invade your place. Well, to be honest, I've never had any problems with them anywhere but up in here. And I won't even say problem. I've never experienced them living anywhere other than right in those cracks in the siding. And I actually have more trouble with the mice, to be honest. So I'm not going to evict them yet. We're going to let them hang out. They're going to be gone in another couple weeks. So if they want to hang out for a couple weeks, I wonder if they're migrating through. I wonder if that's why they weren't here all summer. Do bats migrate? Or do they overwinter and hibernate? Anyway, I don't know. Welcome to Mutual of Omaha. Time to hang the light. What do you guys think? Down? Don't forget there's going to be a deck here eventually. So this will be floor height. Ooh, that's not bad, is it? The thought was to open up the lock to unlock the thing, but to have more light on the deck too. Like, I think it's kind of crowded in here. So what do you think about up here? Or does that look like then it should be centered? Is it better just to go here, split the difference between here, here, and here? The triangle method? Should we do that? Okay, we made marks, so we can't go back now. Okay, so we need to drill holes. This is going to be interesting. 2 3/6 inches. Yeah, I know. That's what I said too. Okay, I can't see with that light on. All right, let's see. Let's see how good we are. Are we a hero or a zero? Woo! Look at us. Look at us go. Could be a little bit higher. It's not exactly straight, but what do you think? What do you think? I got these lights at Costco. They came 2 to a pack for like $30, $35, give or take. I've had them out in the yard at night, and I woke up last night probably about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to go outside, and they were still glowing. So they weren't in the morning when I woke up, but they put out a lot of light. And in fact, I had one out by the garden, and it was too light, and it made me think that a car was coming down the driveway because it lit up the driveway so much. So it'll be interesting to see. And they have like an on, off. I'm not even sure what all the functions are. There should be like an on, off, and a daylight timer. I'm not sure which is which. So we'll leave that on and see how long it lasts. Sweet. Good morning. What a beautiful day it's going to be today. We've got a couple things to do in the bunkhouse today, and then we're going to move on to preparing for some deer season projects. What a disaster. So this morning we're going to put up the final piece of insulation on the ceiling, and we're going to do some taping on some seams to get that all tidied up. Then we're going to do a little cleanup in the shower and get a shower curtain on there. Maybe next video we'll try it out after everything's dried well. Well, everybody, I hate to say goodbye, but it is time to wrap up this video. So as a final farewell, let's take a look at the bunkhouse. So some of the projects we are working on this video were finishing the insulation in the ceiling, continuing to work on the insulation in the bathroom. And we've got that insulation all completed, and we also completed the shower. So when I say complete, we still have to figure out how we're going to do the water system in that. But at least now I can go in here and I can rinse off at the end of the day and get the dust and the bug spray and the grime off before I go in to go to bed for the night. Well, goodbye, tiny cabin. We'll see you in a few days. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon.